Hey there, you're listening to the Girls Talking Life podcast, and I'm your host, Johanna. If you're like me, you love time with friends. I always leave feeling encouraged, inspired to try something different, or I've learned something new. So why not continue to grow even when we can't be with our girlfriends? We're not made to do life on our own. So in each episode of this show, I'll bring you a girl and her story to give you refreshing ideas to stir your soul. Let's walk this road together. Are you ready to talk life? Friend, this is it. This is our very last week of the Summer of Friendship, week 10. I am so glad you've been with me for this series, and I pray you have been more intentional about prioritizing connection this summer. If you haven't listened to all the episodes in the series, or haven't been as intentional with your friendships as you'd planned, there's still time. There's no end date on this. In fact, this is just the beginning. I strongly encourage you to think about how you'll take this friendship momentum that you've gained here and keep it going into the fall. I'll touch base on this a little bit more in just a few minutes. If you haven't connected with Jill, our guest host, be sure to visit her at the Grace in Real Life podcast and on JillEMcCormick.com, spaces where she shares common sense grace with a try-hard girl who wants her faith to intersect with her real and full life. Today, we're wrapping it all up. We are going to talk about 3 things. First, creating a new friendship rhythm for a new season. Then, making new friends, and a common friendship struggle that I hear about. Last week, we chatted about when friendships end. We said that one of the ways you can lose connection is because of a change in proximity or a change in life stage or season. And while sometimes God is calling you out of that friendship, and the right thing to do is to let go, other times, He's not, and you just need to get creative with your friendship rhythm. I have a good friend who lived in my neighborhood for years. We would walk together, meet up with our kids at the pool, have each other over for dinners and game nights. And she moved last fall. She is only about 15 minutes away, which is not a big deal, but we have had a much harder time getting together. Our kids are also getting older and they have more activities, so scheduling has been an issue, but we need to find a new friendship rhythm. Maybe you don't see your friend every day at preschool pickup anymore, or you don't run into her every week at church now, or she moved to a different city and you just can't get together like you used to. You can be intentional about keeping this friendship in your life if you feel like that's God's will, by making it a point to find a new rhythm with her. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we find a new friendship rhythm? I have an amazing friend from college. I lived really close to her for 6 years, and then I moved away. We both have families and jobs, so it takes a lot of effort to stay close, but we try our best. We shifted our rhythm of seeing each other every few weeks to seeing each other a few times a year. We plan weekends to stay at each other's houses, and we vacation together. We have created a new rhythm for our friendship. Another example, I used to attend church with some of my best friends. We moved on to different churches since then, but we've built new rhythms of getting together over the years. For a while, we'd meet once a month for breakfast, and then that rhythm changed yet again. One of my friends from this group cuts my hair, so now I see her every 6 weeks pretty regularly, and then we also try to get together with our husbands, who are also friends, once a quarter. So ask yourself, is there a friendship in your life that could benefit from a new rhythm? If you are the one who finds yourself in a new season, you may also need to make new friends. I have a whole episode from last summer on making new friends, episode 94, where I walk you through looking for women to befriend in the places you already go, getting curious about people, and doing the inviting even when it's scary. I share some of my personal experiences and also talk about the fear of rejection and not disqualifying ourselves. Since recording that show, I've had guest Amberly Neese on, episode number 107, and she encouraged us to serve in order to make friends. She said when we serve in the areas that we're most passionate about, things that we really care about, we are more attractive. Amberly said, do those things, and I truly believe God will send people who have very similar passion areas, And then we have a connection that is really undeniable. I think she is spot on. Run after Jesus doing the things he's gifted you in and given you a passion for, and you will find other women in these spaces, and deep connections will come easily. If you are looking for new friendships, I encourage you to listen to those episodes. You can find the links in the show notes. Lastly, let's address one of the biggest struggles I hear about when it comes to friendships as adults. Time. Most of us have a lot on our plates. Spending time with friends is probably just not going to happen on its own. But we've learned this summer that God designed us to be in community, that it's good for our emotional, mental, and physical health, and that someone needs what you have to offer as a friend. So spending time with friends, going deeper, having fun, making new ones, you have to prioritize it. People will say things like, make time or find time, and I say those things too, but we really can't make it or find it, we just have it. And we all have the same amount. It's all about how you schedule the time you have. And I am a girl of efficiency. I love batching things, taking the most efficient route for my errands, strategically working through my to-do list. But relationships are not efficient. In fact, in his popular book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, John Mark Comer calls relational time wildly inefficient. Spending time with people, being present and focused, listening, showing compassion, and engaging in meaningful connection is a slow, inefficient process. But if Jesus was unhurried with his friends and the people that he met along the way, we should be too. Expect inefficiency. It's not a business meeting. It's meaningful connection. I talked earlier about taking the friendship momentum you've gained here into the fall. When you're thinking about your schedule, when you're transitioning to this new season, ask yourself where you can build in regular time to spend with friends. I am adding school schedules and sports schedules to my calendar right now, and you can bet I am blocking off regular time for friends. You can do this too. As much as is possible, it should be a non-negotiable, something you're not willing to miss out on. You might be inspired to start a group, which I highly recommend, or invite women to a get-together. If you are, do it. Fall is a fantastic time to invite people into something new because while you're transitioning to this new season, so is everyone else. If you feel like you could use some more guidance in this area, I have a virtual mini course to help you do this very thing. It's called The Gathering Project, and I will give you the special ingredients you need to plan, prep, and gather with your girlfriends. You'll plan your gathering from start to finish, including defining the purpose, naming who you'd like to include, choosing the type of gathering you'll have, and where best to have it. You'll also get ideas for adding special elements to make it meaningful. It is self-paced. You can work on it when it's best for you. It'll take about 15 minutes for 5 days, or you could do it all in one sitting in a little over an hour. I guarantee there is something worth celebrating and women in your life that would love to do it with you. As you'll learn on day one, you can ask questions like, what do I need right now? Or what sounds fun? Plus, I'll give you lots of ideas along the way. Find the link to join the Gathering Project in the show notes. Friend, I want to get to know you better. I have a summer survey for you, and I would love to hear more about you. I want to know what you thought of this series, what topics spoke to you, and what you didn't hear that you think I should have covered. The link to that survey, which will only take about 2 minutes of your time, can be found also in the show notes. Let's keep the momentum going. We are not made to do life on our own. I want you to cultivate community, create meaningful connections, and build lasting friendships that glorify God. Thanks so much for spending the summer with me growing in our friendships. I'll be back with my traditional interview style show in just a few weeks, and we will be starting a series on marriage. I'll see you then.